Let's understand how we will do these questions, which I had shared before. So whenever they give you a function question, they can either give it as f of x is equal to, or they can give it like this format, f double dot and then x. Okay, we need not worry whichever format they're giving. We just need to understand what is the function. So in this case, the function is 2x minus 5. Okay, and most of the cases you can eliminate whatever is there, whether it is an element of R or element of N. At least for junior cert, you need not worry more about this. Okay, so as and when you see the question, you see what is the function, so which is like 2x minus 5. That's the only thing which you need to remember. Now evaluate the following: f of 4. And if you want, if it makes it more clearer to you, so you can write this as f of x is equal to 2x minus 4, which is easier for us to understand because this is the format which we have learned. Now f of 4 means where is the 4 coming? 4 is here. Okay, so which means that you need to sub in the values onto the other one. So that is equal to 2 times 4 minus 4, which is equal to 8 minus 4, which is equal to, sorry, this is not 4, this is 5. Here also it is 5. Sorry about that. This is 5. So 2 times 4 minus 5, 8 minus 5, which is equal to 3. Okay, then f of minus 2 is equal to 2 times minus 2 minus 5, so which is equal to minus 4 minus 5, which is equal to minus 9. Please remember to use calculator in all the calculations. Never do it in mind. Even though you know that you have a good mental power during exam, please don't use your mental power to do calculations. As I have already mentioned in the class, it is very, very important that you do it in the calculator and don't do any mistakes. Otherwise, you will lose mark. Okay. Now, the next one is f of x is equal to 21. So, they're saying that f of x is equal to 21. So, it is 2x minus 5 is equal to 21. Now, this is a linear equation. This you can directly solve it. So, 2x is equal to 21 plus 5, which is equal to 26. 2x is equal to 26. You divide by 2 and x is equal to 13. Okay, now moving on to the inequality. So this inequality um, is an inequality which has two sides. So if they have given f of x, so it is like you will write it as minus 11 less than or equal to 2x minus 5 less than 3. Okay, now in this case, this becomes important when you are drawing a number line. Okay, I'll explain that why. Now, how will you solve this? You can either solve it in two methods. Let me just explain the first method. So here, this will be the first method. So one first method is, let me just rewrite it. So 11 less than or equal to 2x minus 5 less than 3. So you see what is the extra here, and you add it onto the both sides, or you move it onto the both sides. So which will become minus 11 plus 5 less than or equal to 2x, which is less than or equal to 3 plus 5. So minus 11 plus 5 is equal to minus 6, which is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than or equal to 8. Then you divide, so that will be minus 3 less than or equal to x less than 4. Okay, this is the first method. Second method is you split this inequality as minus 11 less than or equal to 2x minus 5, and on the right hand side, the other second inequality is 2x minus 5 less than 3. Now we know how to solve these two inequalities. So minus 11 plus 5 less than or equal to 2x, and minus 6 less than or equal to 2x, and then divide. So minus 3 less than or equal to x. So this is the first side, and here it will be 2x. 2x is less than 3 plus 5, 8. Okay, let me just write 3 plus 5. So 2x is less than 8 and x is less than 4. Now then you combine both this, just bring it together. That should be enough. Okay. Now to draw this in a number line, that is where, as I said, this will come into picture. X is an element of R. So when you are drawing a number line with R, you need to okay, let me just quickly explain. If x is an element of n, when you draw the number line, you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you draw boards like this. Okay. And x is an element of z, which is like the integers. There you have positive and negative numbers. This is plus 1, this is plus 2, this is minus 2, and the arrow should go both of these sides, and you need to just put dots like this. Okay. Now when it is x is an element of R, which is real numbers, what you do is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if the inequality is x is greater than or equal to 2, x is an element of R. Because it is an element of R and it is greater than or equal to 2, you mark a black dot here and then darken this whole line here till the last, because it is an element of R. Okay, suppose if it is x is an element of x is greater than 2, x is an element of R, then the same thing, but you do an open circle here. Okay, let me just mark it in red so that it is visible. So just draw an open circle and then highlight it over here. Okay, now there's one more thing. For example, if it is minus 2 less than or equal to x, which is less than 3, okay, and x is an element of R. Now how will you draw this one? So I'll just draw a number line where I will like minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, two arrows. So let's take the first side. So it is minus 2 less than or equal to x, and since it is less than or equal to, you put a dark dot here, and then on the right hand side it is less than 3, so you put an open circle here and then you highlight all of this. Okay, so in short, if it is less than or equal to, you put a dark dot, and if it is less than, put an open circle. Okay, so that's how it works. Now let's come back here. So in our equation, the equation is minus 3 less than or equal to x less than 4. So minus 3 less than or equal to, so here it is a dark dot, and less than 4, here it is an open dot. Then you highlight this like this. So I would really recommend during an exam, just highlight it with a red ink so that it is properly visible. Now moving on to the next question. So it's a uh, very lengthy question which has some explanation. So go read the explanation, but understand that this is the function which they are talking about, and this is a second function which they are talking about. So that's the main focus of our work. That should be our main focus of our work. So what you should do here is AT, okay, AT, and 10,000 is the amount, and then you need to find the value of the investment with both the companies over the first 4 years of the investment. So what you do is you put the values in here. So AT is equal to T square plus 1. So then okay, let me just do one question here for the first one. So AT and T is equal to 1. So AT is T square plus 1. So when T is equal to 1, it will become 1 square plus 1, which is equal to 2. Similarly, you can calculate everything. But as I said, well, we can use the table functions in the calculator to do the working. So you can write this function in the calculator, and then you can give these values and then get the values out of the calculator. So if you don't know, please learn that off, because that will make our life very easier. So once you put that, you will get the values, which is like 2, 5, 10, and 17. And for BT, use the function 2 to the power of T, which is like 2, 4, 8, 16. So if you haven't gotten this, please try it today itself. Try to put the values and see whether you are getting these values, and learn it off. If you don't know, please come back to me. Okay. Identify the type of function each company's projection represent. Okay, so for A and T, how will you identify the type of function? Whenever you have a series, you find the first difference and the second difference. And if the second difference is the same, it is a quadratic. And if the first difference is the same, it is linear. Okay, so you do it for AT. So you find the first difference and you will get the second difference is the same. And because of that, it is a quadratic function. Okay, now let's take the case of B of t, which we haven't discussed in the class. So if the B of t, it is like 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. And when you find the first difference, you will get 1, 2, 4, and 8. and then you find the second difference. So you will get 1 here, 2 here, 4 here. Okay, so here uh, this is the first difference and this is the second difference. So we don't have the first difference same, you don't have the second difference same. So blindly you can say that it is an exponential function as of, I mean, at least for the junior cert. Okay, so you can say that it is an exponential function because the first difference and the second difference is uh, both are not equal. Okay, so that's an exponential function. Even if you see the b to the power of t, it is 2 to the power of t. So you have the t as a power, so that means it is an exponential function. Okay, we can understand that directly from the formula itself. And now use the grid, graph the two functions over the given domain. So it is pretty easy where you have the table format with the value, so just need to plot it, and you will, this is not the exact plotting, but I'm just showing it. And then one important thing what you have to do is you have to plot the line, so you will be having these points visible. The examiner want to see these points visible like this, and also you should write it. Okay, this is a to at and this is bt. This is very, very, very important. Okay, if it is not labeled, you will lose 1 mark. Okay, so you have to make sure that it is properly labeled. Now going to the question number D. If Matthew plans cash out investment after 4 years, which company should invest in? Justify the answer. So how will you find that out? So after 4 years, so it is after 4 years, right? So after 4 years, he will have a value of 17,000. Okay, and BT has a value of 16,000. So he should always invest it with company A. So that justification you have to write here. Okay, so after 4 years, AT will give an amount of 17,000 euro and BT will give an amount of 16,000 euro, and because of that you should go with 80. That's it. Okay, that's very simple. In some very simple words you should convey the information. If you write 3 or 4 lines, it is not going to help you. Just very simple words, you have to work on it. And if Matthew won't be cashing out the investment after 6 years, okay, which company should he invest in? So after 6 years, so we'll just write it after 6 years, A of t is equal to t square plus 1, so which is equal to 6 square plus 1, which is equal to 36 plus 1 is equal to 37. So the value with company will be 37,000 euro. Okay, and how about BT? BT will be 2 to the power of t. So B of 6, like after 6 years, it will be 2 to the power of 6, which is equal to 64, and it is 64,000 euro. So he should invest it with uh, company B. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, again a hurler takes a free during a match, and there's a height, and they are saying that h of s is equal to minus 2s square plus 8s plus 1. So as and when you say, just move on to the different one. As and when you say h of s minus 2s square plus 8s plus 1. So you should not get confused. This is just a normal function. Instead of f of x, they are using some other variables. That is it. Okay. So here, you look at the variable here, it is like s. So it is nothing but it's the same as minus 2x square plus 8x plus 1. That's it. Only thing is like the name of the variable is different. Why they do it? Just to confuse you. Okay, to see whether you have understood the concept. But we should understand these are all and the same. It's the same as what we have done. So there's no other hidden things in this. Okay, so here it is. The function is minus 2s square plus 8s plus 1. Okay, let me just underline this. Complete the table below with 0 less than or equal to s less than or equal to 4.5. So they have given the table, they have given the value. So what should you be doing? You should put this function into the calculator in the table function, and then give the values 0 to maybe 4 you can give, because 4.5 it's very difficult to put that it. So do it till 4, you get the values and write it here. Okay, and then 4.5 maybe you will have to work on it, because in the table function you can add a step of 1. Okay, you usually add a step of 1 because otherwise it will become confusing. So let us put it from 0 to 4 and then 4.5. Now here, once you put the values, you will get 17971 and minus 3.5. And if you want to do some calculation, you can directly do it in here. Now you should draw the graph of this function, and you have to plot is the numbers, and you will get something like, okay, it'll go like this and it'll go like this. Okay, and if you have plotted 2 or more points, you will get full you will get I mean, no, you have to plot all the points. If one is wrong, even still you will get high partial credit, but you have to plot all the points because it's a very short table. You have to plot all the points and then write it down. Okay, and from your graph, initial height of this one, so initial height will be the first one. Okay, so it is here. Initial height is here. If you are seeing this, it is, I marked it in purple. And what is the value? It is 1. So it is 1 meter. After how many seconds this one hits the ground? So hit the ground means it is somewhere here. I'm marking it in purple, so that's where it hits the ground, isn't it? Because this is the height. Sorry, what is this measurement? It is the height. So then that is somewhere around 4 point, because once you draw the graph, you will be able to figure it out. Okay, so it is 4.1. And the maximum height, you have to find what is the maximum height. So when you plot it, you will actually get it. Okay, it's like my graph is wrong. So the maximum height is 9 meter. Okay, they have given another graph. Is hit from the ground and its height after s seconds is given by this formula. Calculate the value of A. How will you find the value of A? Minus S square plus AS, and 0 is less than or equal to S, which is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so when it hits here, S is equal to, okay, so here it is, H of S is equal to minus S square plus AS. Okay, and 0 less than or equal to S less than or equal to 3. S is an element of R. So you can just neglect this, okay, for the time being. Calculate the value of A. How will you find the value of A here? So here the point, this point, what I have marked is 3, 0, and then the value of A will be 3. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. A function is defined by g of x is equal to 9 minus 4x. As I said, the alphabets can be different, so let's not worry about this. Let's understand the function, which is like 9 minus 4x, and g of t is equal to minus 3, which means this is equal to minus 3, and it's a linear equation. You can directly solve it. So minus 4x is equal to minus 3 minus 9. So minus 4x is equal to minus 12, and x is equal to 3. Okay. Okay, there's one change here. I mean, it's not a, see, even if you write this, it will be fine. But here, what they are mentioning is g of t is equal to minus 3. So instead of putting it with x values, it will be good if you put 9 minus 4t equal to minus 3 and then do all the calculation and write t is a t as 3, because they have mentioned the value of t. Okay, otherwise, calculation is correct. Ideally, you should get marks even if you do it with x. Okay, for each of the following mapping diagrams, circle the diagram that represent a function. Okay, so this we didn't discuss in the class. For a graph like this to be identified as a function, there are two conditions. Like if you have something like 1, 2, 3 here, and if you have another one, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, this is called the domain, and it's called the range. So for this to be a function, there has to be an arrow going in from each one of the element out in the domain. Okay, so these are the elements in the domain, so there should be an arrow going, and there should be only one arrow going out of that. Okay, so then this is a function. So suppose if you have another one like which is like 2 here and you have 3 here, and if I have one going like this, arrow going like this, if there is another arrow going like this, if there's another arrow going like this is not a function. Why? Because two arrows are going out of a single element. In the first one there is only one arrow which is going, second one there are two arrows which is going, so it is not a function. And also the first condition is there should be an arrow going in from each element of the from the domain, from the one which is on the left hand side. So with that we have to find out which is the function. So the first one, there is an arrow going in from each one and there is only one arrow which is going, so this is a function. For the second one, there is an arrow going in from all of this, but there are two arrows which is going in from this, so this is not a function. Okay, third one, there is an arrow going in from this no, this two are there, so it is not a function. Here, there is an arrow going in from all of these function, and so it is a function. So you have to identify this and then you have to explain it. How will you explain it? You should say that, okay, it is a function only if there's an arrow going in from each element of the domain, and uh, there should be only one arrow which is going from the domain. So you have to have the explanation written here, only then you will get the mark, because they have mentioned, yeah, okay, so they mentioned that explain your answer fully. So you have to have an explanation written there. Okay, thank you.